This is Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY. It's sponsored by Independent Bank, and our second to last show before Christmas. Katie Huckle is here with me, and I misspoke last week when we did the show with Joe. Next week's show is going to be show 200. This is 199. So, and our fourth anniversary is going to be our first show of 2024. So happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. And you know, when we first put this together, Rich, it was about talking about people that are agents for change, that are doing positive things, that are making Cadillac a better place. And this nonprofit is at the top of the list.
It is. And Amy Gibbs might be one of our most frequent flyers on this program as the executive director for Cadillac Area Habitat for Humanity. Amy, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us here today.
Amy, you call this your God job. And so you took the position, and here we are. How many years later?
4 years.
And she handed me some notes because she's always very prepared.
Well prepared.
And the word that I'm seeing the most in the notes is change. Can you tell us about that?
Big changes. Yes. So as you heard when Rich announced us as Cadillac Area Habitat for Humanity, that is one of our big changes.
Okay.
In July of 23 this year, we acquired Missaukee County. So to incorporate all of the counties and more, if we down the road get more, we wanted a name that was more universal, that we could not have to change again. Because that's a lot of work to change a name. I mean, you got to change... signs and everything.
Was Missaukee County part of a different group, or were they not under any umbrella for Habitat?
They were not under Habitat now.
Okay.
They had been previously, and it was run by volunteers. And this was, I don't know, I think 10 years ago, I'm not sure, when they ended up no longer serving that area. So 2 other organizations stepped up to do that work that Habitat did.
Okay. All right. That explains it.
Okay.
And so now it's more inclusive of everybody that you're serving.
Correct. We were getting so many calls from Missaukee County, and we just felt it was time to serve them as well.
Okay. Wow. You talk about, when people think about Habitat, I think a lot of our listeners are thinking about you build houses, and you do build houses, but there's so much more to the story. And I think we should take a comprehensive look at everything that you guys do.
Yeah, so building houses is the number one thing that Habitat does. We all know that. We also do repair. We have a repair program. So we do small type repairs, which is called a Brush with Kindness. And we also do priority home repairs. We've just started doing that. So we that's a bigger type project where someone may need a new roof, or if they have some issues with being able to access their house, because handicapped accessible is not always in a house when you move in, and then things change and you may need that. So we do some repairs in that type of work, just bigger type repairs, a new well, electrical updates, those kind of things.
I mean, when she says home repairs, he and I kind of look at each other like, everybody's got that list. And it's overwhelming.
Right.
And it's expensive.
It is really expensive. And so that priority home repair is really for safety and health issues. So that's for someone who we want them to stay in their house, but it also it needs to be a safe house for them. So safe and affordable is our main tagline, and that's what we do with that priority home repair program.
And the Restore is on fire.
Yeah, I'm going to pass the mic to Ben for this one.
Let's talk to Ben about the Restore. Oh, boy.
How are you, Ben?
Doing great, thank you.
Good. So tell us how things are going at the Restore.
Busy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're pretty blessed. The community stands up behind us. Our donations are as good as they've ever been, and then our foot traffic is huge. Every day we see upwards bound from where we were the year before, and it's just a lot of positives.
You know, Rich, I have a good story about these guys. I had, I don't know, a random chair or something in my basement. All you have to do is tell them when to come and where they're going in your house. I mean, I trust these guys. So I wasn't even around, right? I'm like, the basement's in the garage-ish, I think. Here's how you get in. Here's how you get in. It's in pretty good condition. Yeah. Have at it. But, you know, it's already hard enough when we make the decision to get rid of something. And you guys make it easier because you're going to come and get it, and then it's going to get repurposed. So you feel better about the purge that we all need to do, because we all need to purge.
And you don't necessarily have to wait till spring to do it.
No, we're there every week, every day. We're accountable. So, yeah, anytime, give us a call.
What things are most popular right now at in the store?
Furniture and appliances are always the top two.
Okay.
Yeah, that's year round. There's always somebody looking for a new couch or a new table, and appliances goes without saying. They're expensive. Repairs are non-existent anymore. So getting someone lined up with a new fridge can be life-changing for that person, which leads to a lot of smiles a lot of the time. So,
and that's what you need the most of.
We
really.
deal in smiles daily, my man.
Okay.
We have a new face in the studio here with the Habitat Group with Flora. Tell us about your role with the organization.
So I got brought on in July. Actually, I started on Amy's birthday, so she thinks it's a birthday present to her.
They've been friends a long time.
Yeah.
These two.
So I come on July as the Fund Development Director, which is a new role there. So it's been created because our goals have majorly increased. So essentially, in a nutshell, my job is to get money. So we need money to build houses, and so no pressure.
I was
No
going to
pressure
say,
at all.
Yeah, right.
what are your avenues to do that? I mean, how is that job going to work?
Yeah. So to get the big bucks, I'm hoping to get some pretty big grants. Grants are a main focus. Of course, just our fundraisers like we did this past weekend. And then we did just kick off at our Festival of Dreams. We kicked off a new program. And so it's like the coolest club around. So everybody really should join this awesome club. And it's called the 150 Builds Hope Club. Essentially, it's we're hoping to get 1,000 members to this club, and it costs about $150 per square foot to build a house.
Okay.
So we're asking each club member to pledge $150 a year. So that is actually $12.50 a month. That is one fast food meal, if you're lucky.
Right.
So, like I said, my college student could afford to pledge $12.50 a month, and which makes a huge difference. Like that is a catalyst to building a home and making somebody's dreams come true. So, we're hoping to get this kicked off. If you're part of our club, you get a T-shirt, some Habitat swag. You get invites to our groundbreaking. You get an invite to the dedication of the home, and we're just super excited for it. And we already have over 25 club members, and it's only a week old or so. So we're super excited.
I know both of you can speak to this, but having this campaign start now is a really big deal because housing is an issue. Housing is a huge issue in our community. There's no way that Habitat for Humanity or really anyone else who's a builder could even keep up with the demand that we need in our community. So how does that kind of dovetail nicely with the situation we're in right now?
Well, to your point, we do absolutely need houses. We can build houses. We can afford to build houses if we have the money there to do it, because our builds are, I'm looking at Amy right now, it's less than what a builder could build a house for, because, we have a prison build program that we can get the cupboards from, and, different things like that. With this 150 Builds Hope Club, if we have 1,000 members, that's $150,000 a year. That's one house a year that we can build easily for $12.50 a month. So we're really, really encouraging people to sign up, go to our website, get online, stop in, call me. I don't care. Just, sign up.
I'll add a little bit to that, Flora. Thank you. So talking about the housing crisis that we're all hearing about right now, our board stepped up and gave me some hefty goals that we need to try and accomplish. So typically we've built one house a year. This year we're building 2, next year 3, the next year 4, 6, 8, and by FY28 they want to build 10 houses a year. So that is huge for us.
That is
incredible.
That is a big expectation.
Yes, it is.
But it's needed.
We call it our stretch goals.
Oh, we all know about stretch goals. It's called it gets a little uncomfortable.
It does. But you know what? We have the awesomest community. We all know that this is needed. It is being talked about everywhere. It's all over the news. There's all kinds of, different groups that are meeting to try and figure out how to solve this issue. So we are going to be a part of that
solution.
Thank you.
Yes, problem solvers.
Yeah.
You know, one distinction I think that a lot of people need to know is that the recipients of the homes are very involved in the process. And I kind of had a personal experience with that right before your fundraiser, because the person that had asked me for the donation wasn't able to pick it up. And I said, okay, let's try to coordinate. And it was one of our homeowners is going to come over and get it, meaning we're all in this together. So it isn't just here's a house because you qualified or you met the median incomes or this kind of stuff, but it's we're all in this together, and there are expectations for your recipients as well.
Absolutely. So a single parent family has to participate with 300 hours of sweat equity. Okay. So that is either volunteering in the restore, education classes that they have to take. We had one of our recipients this year very involved on our festival committee. So she was at every meeting. She was there that night. Our other homeowner has been very involved with at her house doing a lot of the painting and the trim work. And she did an amazing speech at our Festival of Dreams fundraiser. I don't know if there was a dry eye in the room. She talked about how this has changed the trajectory for her family. She came from a background that home ownership was not part of what she knew. And she wanted different for her children. So it was just a really cool, neat way to hear how this changed her family.
You are doing generationally transformational things.
Absolutely.
With this. Yeah.
Like break the cycle. And there's data that shows that homeownership is stabilizing.
Oh, absolutely. These families now are able to look at, saving for retirement or college for their children instead of, do I have a safe and affordable house that I can raise my kids in? Or what am I going to do when I get the next electric bill because it's winter in Michigan? So, yeah, we really do change how people live and how their children live, and generational, just like Rich said.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk about educating? There's a process, an application process. And then once you select your families, is it then that you go into educating, okay, here are next steps in the process? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have an open enrollment in October, but all the way up till October, when I get phone calls, we have like a pre-screening people can fill out. And then I always suggest to them, it's not a requirement, but a highly suggested to take this financial coaching class through Habitat Michigan. It's a very minimal cost class. They can do it virtually. They learn how to be mortgage ready. So they work with someone one-on-one. They work through getting their bills paid, their debt to income ratio to an acceptable level, and their credit score to acceptable levels. You know this, Katie, in your other life. And so we work hard to get them there. And then afterwards, we continue to work with them on some home ownership classes as far as, how to change a filter in your furnace or different things like that. And we are always available down the road. I have families that I did not place in the homes that were placed before I came on board that they reach out to me for questions or different things. And we really try and just continue to have them be successful in that home.
Incredible. I mean, these are things I'm going, we all should know how to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shouldn't we?
Absolutely.
I mean, what a resource.
So the Habitat, and this is a line that has been used. It's a saying that's been used with Habitat for as long as I can remember. It's a hand up, not a handout. And I think that's really important for the community to understand because of the sweat equity, but there's also other requirements that people have to have in order to qualify for a Habitat home.
Right. So a new tagline I've been using, because we really want to remove that connotation that we're just giving this to people. So our families walk away with a home, a mortgage, and a future. So they do have to get a mortgage. They do pay for that house. We help them with lower interest. We help them with some down payment assistance. We help them with appliances and different things that they need in that house, but they get a mortgage. So they have a payment and they have to upkeep the house, and they have to, make sure that they are successful.
So what you're vetting people to make sure that they're going to the best of your ability, be able to sustain themselves.
Absolutely. We try hard to make sure we put the right person in the house. You never know. Things happen. Right. Lives change and stuff happens, but we have a pretty good track record with successful Habitat homeowners.
43 families in permanent housing because of Habitat for Humanity.
And that started how many years ago, Amy?
1987 is when we became an affiliate in Cadillac. And then
that's 36 years.
Yes,
so 43, that's
years.
more than a family a year.
Right.
But can you imagine 43 families lined up? I mean, that's huge, huge. Let's talk a little bit about the Brush with Kindness program. 50 Brush with Kindness projects. Can you tell us a little bit about what some of those projects look like, Amy?
Yeah, so those are typically outdoor type projects. So if someone needs a new door or windows that are leaking, or they have front steps that they can't really safely go up, or if they need a ramp, like something's happened in the family that they need a handicap accessible ramp. We also do some landscaping and painting. So it's really outdoor type work. That's what the Brush with Kindness is. Usually done within a day or two. Usually the cost is $1,500 or less on those projects.
Okay. All right. So Ben, tell us a little bit. What do people want most? Because I want our listeners to look around their house and look at stuff that they don't need anymore, or that they need to purge. Again, there's that word. What are people looking for?
A lot of folks come in looking for something that they can't find somewhere else.
Okay.
One of a kinds are real popular. Things you wouldn't be able to go just run to Walmart and find.
Okay.
Some of that stuff has age on it from the 50s or 60s.
Right.
There's always somebody looking for some different aesthetics, and we fit the bill for that. We try to take anything that comes in and make sure we clean it up, make sure it runs right, and get it back out there. And a lot of times those are the cooler things that you wouldn't see at a store nowadays.
Oh my God. I mean, it's fun to go shopping in there, Rich. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Well, and there's even more than there used to be because you recently expanded. Right?
Yeah. We went from about just under 12,000 feet to over 18,000 feet right around April.
Okay.
And so that's been just a huge success for what we're doing. It's people walk in that haven't been there in a while, and the first thing I hear is, wow, you've expanded. And then daily we get thank yous. And we draw, the other thing that kind of surprises us in our location is we see daily folks from the Traverse City area. See a lot of folks coming from the west side of the, Houghton Lake area. So they're putting in a 40-minute trek to get to our restore. And that makes you feel good. You're doing something right if you're drawing them that far.
Right.
To come shop your store. Sure.
I like to look at their lamps because you can find antique stuff. Again, like you said,
yeah,
it's not cookie cutter.
Stuff you're not going to find in a box store for sure.
Yep. All right. Well, I just wanted people to know about that in case they're thinking that they might want to part with.
I'll elaborate on that.
Okay.
Anything you can use in your home, your garage, your yard. There's a few small things we don't take. Older type TVs. We do not take used bedding. But other than that, if we can find a reason or even think that it'll do well in our store, we take a chance on it. It all comes down to, again, you never know what the other person's looking for.
Right.
So if you put it out there 9 times out of 10, we'll find somebody who needs it or wants it. So it's a great program.
Here's an interesting question. Have you ever had something donated that you found to be extremely valuable, whether it was the person who donated it didn't realize what kind of value it was, and you ended up finding a buyer for it, or because you could resell something that is antique or rare and take that money and put it back into the store. Has something like that ever happened?
Yeah. From time to time, you're blessed with just a crazy successful donation. And a lot of those items, they do well, and we offer some online sales, and nothing into the thousands of dollars, but it's a pretty routine occurrence, to get something that you wouldn't think is worth a lot, but you'll get $200 or $300 for it. And of course, that just goes to the bottom line, and it's awesome.
Well, and look at how expensive furniture is these days.
Yeah, everything new is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then we go to the appliance part of it. When your folks bought a refrigerator back in the day, or your grandparents, they had that for 25 or 30 years. Now, if you go to the store and buy a new one, the life expectancy is 6 to 8 years. It's a throwaway world. Satisfy me now. So people are onto that, and they're always looking for the solid older furniture and appliances as well, which makes those things sell really well.
Okay. Pole barn renovation. I see that there's that has happened as well.
Yes, sir.
So how does that affect and enhance what Habitat does?
So we're still in the process of getting it ironed out, but so we have a pole barn in the back of our property, and that is what we're going to turn into a contractor's corner, per se. We're going to move all of our doors, windows, sinks, and toilets out there. Buys us a little more room on the inside to decorate with the cool stuff, and it keeps the builders all in the know that go to the back building first, and it's coming around. It's going to work out real nice for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
More about the merger. Are there any other major changes that we're going to see? I mean, with the new name.
We are going to service Missaukee County the same way we do Wexford and Osceola. They need, just as many things over there as we do in the counties we currently were serving. We'll continue to look for, eventually, with these bigger builds that we're wanting to do, I want to try and get a development in each one of the counties we serve so that we have some acreage ready and to build on. So if there's anyone out there who's looking to donate some property, we do accept property donations as well. We are looking for how we can make this happen, because when we accept our applications, we receive 22 in October. We're only building 3 houses.
Right.
So next year. So we really need to set ourselves up for these 10 houses we want to build, but for our build team to be able to be successful at that and be able to get those done in that year, we need them to be in close proximity. So
Sure.
we'll want to have, a plot of land in each one of our counties so that if someone applies from Missaukee County or Osceola County or Wexford, we're able to serve them and not say, we're only building in this county this year. Do you want to relocate? We want them to be able to be in the county that they're from. Usually that's where a family has their most support. And so that's ultimately my goal.
Do you have a plan for a county by county plan as far as the homes? Are you looking at 2 in Wexford County for every 1 you build in Missaukee and Osceola, or is it just going to be it comes as it comes?
Yeah, so we have talked a lot about that at the board level. Like, how can we be fair in each county? We serve who comes to us. Mm-hmm. So if we get a family that is from Wexford, we're going to try and build in Wexford. We aren't going to ask them to relocate to wherever our builds are. That's why ultimately having a plot of land in each one of those counties is going to be most beneficial to us. But so that's how we're going to try and work through that. Serve who and when and where they come from.
Okay. In terms of volunteer horsepower, taking on another county, I mean, do you need more volunteers? Is that something that you're looking for?
Yeah, we always need volunteers. So since COVID, volunteerism has changed across the board for all nonprofits. It is harder to get volunteers now. I don't know if the volunteers found other things they wanted to do or, kind of aged out. We are finding that most of the volunteers are people that have done it forever, but we're really trying to get the younger people engaged and more involved because we still need that to be successful.
Okay. So how do people, if they want to, first of all, if they want to make a donation, where do they go to? And if they want to volunteer,
yeah,
where
so
do they go to?
Go to CadillacAreaHabitat.org. It is our website. It has tabs on there, and if you sign up for a volunteer, I get a spreadsheet with your name on it. Tells me what interest you have, whether it's in the restore, on the job site, or the repair program, or maybe you want to be involved in a different way, like you want to be on a committee, or we have this really awesome committee that rehab stuff from the restore, and we have a little boutique called the Fab Rehab within our restore that we started last year, maybe about a year and a half ago. And so we have unique finds, one of a kinds. We have a team. We have a room that you can rebuild or repaint or do any of those kind of things to some of that furniture that just needs a little bit extra love. And then we put it in the Fab Rehab, and we get a lot of walkthrough traffic in there. We're really looking for people to help do some of that work right now.
Okay.
You can take the piece home. You come into the restore, you sign it out, you can take it home, or you can redo it right there in our space we have in the restore.
I'm smiling because I bet you have shoppers that want to come by weekly to see what's in the Fab Rehab and to see daily.
Well, because I imagine the store changes day to day, right?
Yeah, we do our best to keep a fresh look on the floor, and it's not uncommon to be standing by the door and, oh, you've changed again. I personally think that's a heck of a draw. And if you have something that's not moving in one area, you pop it to the other area. It puts a new light on it, if you will, and a lot of times creates some interest. But it's a big part of what we do is to give a fresh outlook. And I couldn't really put a percentage of it, but we see a lot of the same smiling faces 2, 3, 4 times a week. And those people, we're becoming a hub for their everyday, travel, their life.
Well, and you just mentioned people are coming from 40, 50 miles away
not
to
uncommon.
see yours.
That's daily, Rich.
Mm-hmm. Is that is the local Habitat store a little larger now with that addition than other ones?
So I myself haven't been to a whole bunch.
Okay.
I've been to a few around the state. And every area is a little different. Northern Michigan, I got to believe we're probably about the biggest store.
Okay.
Travers has done some additions, or they actually moved buildings. I haven't really checked theirs out since that. But 18,000 feet, it's a big space for any kind of store. And to have that filled with secondhand goods that are ready to go, it's quite an undertaking,
Right.
As the fund development director, we'll have Flora speak to this because I know Amy talked about volunteerism. But what about the people who might be in the mood to write a big fat check?
I will give you my personal cell phone number, and I'll even take you to lunch.
Okay.
Good. To talk about the program.
They can go to our website and make a donation. They can join our 150 Builds Hope Club. They can do a monthly giving. Or if they want to just be a one-time donor, that's okay too. I'm going to be working on maybe getting some more larger donors now that I'm here. And Amy, I don't know how Amy did this job without. Honestly, she is literally a superwoman. So
they worked together forever ago. They know how well they work together.
Yes,
That's why they're back together. These two.
Yeah. So we're a good team, and if they want to write a big fat check, please get a hold of us. Come into the store, call me, get on our website.
It's really interesting because we have off of Pearl Street the very large housing area that was organized and started by the Wynn family. Mm-hmm. And they knew that they needed people to have comfortable places to live in order to work in their factories. Mm-hmm. So it seems to me like those who are in charge at local factories who have lots and lots of job openings that they need to fill. This might be something they could or should donate to and get behind.
Absolutely. Amy, I'm going to ask you my favorite 501c3 question. If money was no object, what would you do? Where would you take it?
I remember sitting here with Casey Boyer, my vice president, a couple years ago, and he said we'd build 10 houses. Well, dang, that came true because we're going to build 10 houses. I am not the visionary. I am the get it done girl.
Okay.
So I want to serve more people. I want everyone to have safe and affordable housing. I don't care if that's through Habitat or if that's through other nonprofits or if it's through, builders that can build. I just feel like we really need to step up, do our due diligence, get this housing crisis under control. And that's not just going to take us. That's going to take all kinds of people at the table. There are different coalitions. There's one here in Cadillac that I'm a part of. Housing North out of Traverse City is also very involved in trying to get this taken care of. So, we just really need to all step up and do our work and make sure that we can serve and eliminate this problem we have right now.
Well, they certainly have taken a leadership stance here, haven't they?
We have, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And it's always great to have Habitat for Humanity on the show. And Amy, thank you for all you do. And Ben?
So we said you can reach us. We've given you the online, but I'd like to give you our telephone number.
Oh,
231-775-8661.
For those old-fashioned folks who actually like to put in a personal phone call.
I'm a telephone guy myself,
yeah.
so I would be the guy that calls.
I call him too.
Right.
I call them.
Right. And Flora, how do they reach you?
I can reach me. I will give you my cell phone, 231-510-4987, or they can call the office at 231-775-7561.
So important to support Habitat for Humanity. They are doing amazing work.
Amy, thank you.
Thank you.
And Flora and Ben, thank you both. For joining us today on
Dream
Cadillac
Team
Unscripted.
right here.
Dream Team from the new Cadillac area Habitat for Humanity, now covering Missaukee County. Katie, next week, I believe our guest will be Keith Newell from the Wexford County Airport to talk about some Santa tracking on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's exciting.
That'll be fun.
Awesome.
It's sponsored by Independent Bank. Join us next week, same time, same station for more local chat here on 107.